they perpetuate this idea that somehow Biden's down with, always down with with civil rights and all this, which of course he has not been. He's lied about it consistently. He said racially charged racist things his entire career. 1977, he said, quote, "Unless we do something about this, my children are going to grow up in a jungle. The jungle being a racial jungle with tensions built so high that it's going to explode at some point."
Conservative Supreme Court has gutted the Voting Rights Act over the years.
All right, stop it. I mean, that is so patently false, I don't even know where to begin with it. That they've gutted the Voting Rights Act. Where are all the individuals who have claims going to the Supreme Court to fight for this? He couldn't name any. Not one. And of course, the media, as they have his whole career, let him slide like he's some great patriot and partner of the civil rights movement, when he is absolutely the opposite of that. All of the rats and mainstream media losers all getting nervous about what Tucker's doing and just scurrying and try to get into unison on what they're going to do here.
Chuck Schumer saying that certain people like a Tucker should be taken off the air.
And he commented on that tonight. In free countries, governments do not lie about protests. Those videos touch a nerve because they're a threat to the lies that Chuck Schumer has been telling for the last 26 months.
There's more to come, man. This is going to blow wide open.
Even if you try to say, well, it doesn't really tell the whole story. Well, it tells enough of a story.
Democrats put the shaman front and center. The guy's whacked. He's not allowed in Trump rallies. Rav people witnessed it on the road. He does not represent the MAGA movement. And they put him front and center to make an embarrassment of the peaceful people that were protesting that day.
Trump administration CDC Director Robert Redfield told the Congressional Committee Wednesday that his former colleague, Anthony Fauci, and former National Institute of Health Director Francis Collins froze him out of discussions on COVID-19 origins.
I didn't know I was excluded. I didn't know there was a February 1st conference call until the Freedom of Information came out with the emails, and I was quite upset as the CDC director that I was excluded from those discussions.
Why would they do this?
Because I had a different point of view, and I was told they made a decision that they would keep this confidential until they came up with a single narrative.
He always seemed like he was the outlier. Like, he always seemed like he was at least willing to discuss not just the company line. He just seemed different than Birx and then Fauci and all of these other losers that have run the table here throughout these 3 years. And boy, now you're seeing how hard this guy got railroaded.
Right. DeSantis trolls Biden, asks if Djokovic could enter the U.S. by boat. Djokovic has been denied entry into the U.S. due to the vaccine mandate on foreign travelers coming into the country, while Djokovic affirmed last month that he had applied for an exemption that did not come to fruition. Because of this, he would not be able to compete in the tennis tournaments in Miami and Mineral Wells.
Djokovic has already had COVID. There's something called natural immunity, which the CDC didn't want to recognize, but we all know is a fact of life. I'm not sure that's the way they want to come into the country, which I understand. I think it'd be a great moment, but nevertheless.
The ranking member for the Democrat is this Plaskett. She immediately goes in and starts attacking the witnesses and attacking their credibility and attacking their why they're there and are they paid to be there and all these. Even before we get to hear from the witnesses.
You have called before you 2 witnesses who pose a direct threat to people who oppose them.
The gentlelady's words should be struck. We do not accuse witnesses of threatening others. That is out of line and outside the rules of this committee.
That, and I can have an opinion.
You don't get to determine what's struck down.
They're here to tell their story, and frankly, I think they're brave individuals for being willing to come after they've been named in a letter from the Biden FTC.
Is this your question time now?
No, I'm responding to your ridiculous statements you made in your opening statement.
Okay, well, let's go on. Who gave you access to these emails? Who was the individual that gave you permission to access the emails?
Well, the attribution from my story is sources at Twitter, and that's what I'm going to refer to.
Okay. Did Mr. Musk contact you, Mr. Taibbi?
Again, the attribution from my story is sources at Twitter.
Mr. Schellenberger, did Mr. Musk contact you?
Actually, no. I was brought in by my friend Barry Weiss, and so this story, there's been a lot of misinformation.
So Mr. Weiss brought you in. Mr. Taibbi, Ms. Weiss, thank you. Mr. Taibbi, have you had conversations with Elon Musk?
I have.
Okay. Mr. Taibbi, did Mr. Musk place any conditions on the use of the email?
Would the gentlelady yield for a second?
As long as my time is not used.
Are you trying to get journalists?
No, I'm not trying to get.
Sources?
No, I'm not.
Well,
I am
sure sounds
asking.
like it.
No, well, if you will let me finish.
He's a pit bull.
You had conversations with him. You said you weren't going to agree to who your sources were. I'm not asking you your source. I'm asking you if you had conversations.
You did just ask
with
that.
the owner.
This is someone with an IQ of 10 trying to prove that her IQ is 50. That's what that is right there.